Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of Fast Break Bets presented by BettingPros. You know me, no voice, no guys. Me, Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. All right. That was an eventful 2 days of the show to recap because there were ups and there were downs. If you go back to Wednesday, I deserve one of these.
How about if you sweep it out?
What's the point? I can't do anything right.
You'll do fine.
Hey, pal. You just blowing from Stupid Town?
Yep. If I had a hat, I'd tip it. If I had a hat, I promise you I would tip it right now because the Dallas Wings went into that game with 4 rookies. And shout out to JJ and Isaiah for the amazing. I think JJ had 17, Isaiah had 28. Isaiah almost had 30. That's crazy. Shout out to the 757. But they went into that game with 4 rookies and took down what I definitively have as my third best team in the league. And not only beat them, embarrassed them. I mean, the Mercury couldn't hit a shot. They were it was the first half. I mean, the first half just got too out of control, and then they just could never get back. They tried to battle back in the game, but it just wasn't enough in the end. And because of that, AT doesn't go over. Cool. It is what it is. But I also deserve one of these. Because on a Thursday, I handled business. Brionna Jones and Kelsey Plum doing exactly what it needs to do. Dearica Hamby for the social media play absolutely soars over her prop. It felt really, really good beginning the day. It ended with Mercury and AT. That was disappointing, but 3-2 overall. We're looking good on the week. Plus money on Kelsey Plum as well. Not bad. Not bad. A couple of more plays to talk about here. And we'll do that in just a second. But first, I have to remind everybody about the Clyde Drexler signed jersey, courtesy of our friends over there at Pristine Auction. Make sure you just subscribe over there to the Betting Pros YouTube channel, comment on any Fast Break Bets video, and you'll have a chance to win that Clyde Drexler jersey. We're giving that away at the end of the month. So make sure you go ahead right now, subscribe to Betting Pros YouTube, comment any comment on Fast Break Bets, and that is your entry, your chance to win. Okay. Well, there's one play that when you see the Saturday slate, you should already know to make. The Valkyries are playing basketball again. The Valkyries are going to cover the first half. Valkyries' first half in this game is plus 5.5. So just go ahead and put that one in the bank. 5.5 Valkyries. I shouldn't have to talk about that every single time. You guys should already know about that one. Now, let's talk about the other game that's going on. Los Angeles Sparks on the road going to play the Indiana Fever. Fever laying 7.5, 162.5 is total. Shout out to Indiana. Look good past couple of games. Not gonna lie. However, the Sparks team is very frustrated. I think the Sparks team is going to come in here locked in. And I think Indiana is going to be in tune locked in. They've been playing good basketball. And also, they just had a game where they lost to the Sparks in Indiana just a couple of games ago. So some immediate revenge there. I think that here, best play for me is going over 162.5 in this game. I still don't trust the Sparks defensively. I really, really don't. I think there's a chance that we could see Caitlin Clark come back for this game. Not necessarily saying it is going to happen or is going to happen, but it's a chance. I think that we've gotten enough along in the timeline enough where they're going to look to bring her back at some point soon. Now, they are playing at home for a while. They have a home game against the Valkyries after that. We have a home game against the Dream, a home game against the Wings. So there's a long stretch of games that she could come back in. So it doesn't have to be this game. But if it is this game, I think that only helps the total in this going over and the offense looking better. And also the Sparks have somebody that they can attack defensively. But Even if she doesn't play, I still think that this total can go over. I just do not trust that Sparks defense at all. I think they give up too many points. And I think it's more about the pace of the game rather than defense on either side. Honestly, truly, I think that the pace of the game is just going to be quick up tempo. The Sparks want to get up and down the floor, up and down the floor, up and down the floor. And Indiana doesn't mind running that kind of pace. And the more that you force Indiana to defend in transition rather than defend out of the half court, I think the more points that you're liable to score here. So I think this is a really, really good spot to just go ahead and back the over 162.5. You look at the Sparks recently, and they've been a dead over team. They've been over in 8 of their last 10 games here. They've been soaring over and over of 162.5. And the Indiana Fever, been okay. Been all right. It's been about 50-50 recently. But if you look at this matchup and when these two teams have played in Indiana, 3 of the last 4 games have gone over 162.5. And the only one that didn't go over was that last game where it was the Sparks and Indiana in Indiana very recently. It was 85-75. It finished at 160. I think that 162.5 is honestly just way too short of a number. I think that this number could definitely jump higher enough and get over there, especially with the second half here, because both of these two teams, I think in the second half, kind of get just a little bit more lackadaisical. Whoa, let's try to get that word out right. Lackadaisical on defense, especially the Los Angeles Sparks. You saw how they blew that collapse, like completely collapsed in the third quarter of that game against the New York Liberty in the second half here. And I want those points. I want those defensive points here. That they're going to give up. I'm sorry, offensive points that they're going to give up here on the defensive side of ball, especially in the second half. So is Indiana completely out of the doghouse with me? Not necessarily, especially if Caitlin Clark's not playing. But I do think that they've proven to me enough that, hey, they can muster up some form of offense. They've started to figure it out. And so I'm gonna continue to go with that. And I think that they'll be able to score and do their part. And I don't think the Sparks are going away in this game at all. I actually do think this is a rather close game that just sees a bunch of down tempo, up and down, back and forth up the court. A lot of turnovers in this game. I could see it look kind of ugly and getting some free fast break points on both sides. You have Indiana, who, despite being pretty solid defensively, inside of the paint, they're still struggling. They are ninth in opponents scoring inside the paint. And we just talked about that with the Liberty. Liberty were dead last, and Dearica Hamby had a really big game. I think Dearica Hamby could have another pretty solid game here. Azurá Stevens likes to get busy inside the paint. I think the bigs could have a pretty solid game here, scoring inside the paint on Indiana, especially if they're moving in transition, because Dearica loves to run, Azurá can run. You might even see some of those trail threes from Azurá Stevens as well. Like, I think that the Sparks offense, which is clicking still, they just haven't found a way to win games. I think that they're going to be able to click and get it going. In Indiana, you're going to see some fireworks on Saturday. So I like over 162.5. That's my only other play. I don't have my Valkyries bet listed because you should know we're betting the Valkyries first half every single time. I don't have to say that every single time, but Sparks Fever over 162.5. That's the play. That's the only play that I have for Saturday right now, aside from my Valkyries. And maybe we add some player props the day of, and I get more information, but they just didn't have the props out yet. So that's all I have for you. All right. With that, I'm at really real __. Make sure you give me a follow on X at BettingPros on X and TikTok at BettingPros NFL on Instagram and YouTube.com/BettingPros, where you can, once again, comment, subscribe, have a chance to win that Clyde Drexler signed jersey. And with that, that is it. I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. Just going to end it like this. We are out of here.